Hey guys, we're just making sure we're live, checking for a commercial. I looked at my iPad and it has my reference photo on it. Oh, here we could swing. I could chatter some more about something. Freckles isn't with us just yet. Freckles is my cat. I might be talking too soft.
Oh, I got an ad.
Okay. Hey friends, happy Wednesday Friends Day. I'm working on a cow painting. This is Trouble 10. It's a series of paintings I've done that go in a covered entryway at the gallery in downtown Omaha, Nebraska. It's the Artist Cooperative Gallery, 11th and Harney. And I need to get it done. I started it, I don't know how long ago, and I just haven't been getting to it. It's not quite 16 inches by 16 inches. I don't know why, but I think it has something to do with the plywood sheet when they cut it up. So it's a piece of plywood, a little more than 1/4 inch thick. I put clear gesso on all sides. I also put, just to get some color down, and I don't know, it's a little warmer. I don't know if you can tell, like it's a little warmer right there in the blue areas. I put yellow, oxide, and white down because I had it left over from another painting and I just wanted to get some paint down. The reference photos on pixabay.com. I've linked it in this video's description. There will be a full video from start to finish where I pop in. I time lapse and I pop in with comments. I think I'll talk about the colors, and Emily, who is here with us tonight,
Hello.
will scoot in my phone.
Okay.
Looks like the light's behaving.
Oh, I pointed directly at you.
Oh, did you? That's
Yeah.
okay. My big head. You know, what I like is the days are getting shorter.
I know.
So it's like darker earlier and darker in the morning. I sleep better.
Are you doing the whole thing?
Oh, I'm going to work over here.
Oh, okay.
So
I might actually just lower this.
I don't know how far I'll get. So kind of part of the nose up to the ears and the top of the head. So my colors, Phthalo blue. These are all Liquitex. Quinacridone magenta. Cad yellow medium hue. Raw sienna. Mars black. Titanium white. And I did put out some unbleached titanium. I was going to use that for the light areas and then add white for the very highlights, the lightest lights. I mixed this brown, just some raw sienna and black. That's about it. I mixed a little purple, but I think it's all dried. This is kind of a reddish brown color I mixed. I don't know if I mixed, it's been so long, I don't know if I mixed an orange or you just used the raw sienna because it's kind of an orangey color. I think I used the raw sienna because it's muted. Okay. The background, I just used a big, well, not that big, a 2-inch flat brush from Blick Art Materials. I think it came in a pack of 3. And I did my sweeping sky. That's in my best how to paint cloud videos. It's very simple and subtle sky. Oh, and this cow will have, I don't know if you can see that low. Here, I'm going to open up the live just so I can peek.
You can pretty much see it all.
Oh, okay. It's okay if
Just
I can't.
the bottom corner.
Okay.
Really.
Okay. All the Trouble series, the cows that I titled Trouble, they all have flowers coming out of their mouth. And I really like the daisies. I think I'm going to do the daisies again. I have done tulips. I have done black-eyed Susans. I can't think what else. So I'm just working on it. There's not much set. My light is coming from, I have my sun up here. Can you see that? Oh, I've got a commercial, skip my own commercial. Oh yeah, you can. I think the light actually might be coming, it is hitting the top of his or her head, but it's also quite strong on the right. So it might be setting more. That just reminds me. I was going to give you a little tour, like the eyes aren't done. But that's how I start them. Sometimes a little different, but just a little color, a little shape. I won't lose the shape. And sometimes I like the purple in there, I paint it out or keep it in. The nose, just finding the shapes. You know, it's cooler in the nostril, warmer where it's not. I might glaze the whole thing with pink. I just decide that later. I'm mostly looking for value in kind of the close, or not actually the close color. I'll put, like this, these are purples. Sometimes I'll put in more color than I see, and I can always tone it down. Okay, oh wait a minute, brush. That's more like me. I always start to toss it to you and I think of something. This is a 3/4 inch flat brush from US Art Supply that I was using. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep using it. I've got another one. This is a craft brush, same size. It's a little thicker. And then I've also got, I'll just call them out when I get there. I'm going to work on the ear. Okay, that sets the table.
Okay, let's see here. So far tonight in the chat, we've got Deborah, Marty, Leanne, and Chase popped in with his $9.99 and his little goat emoji.
Hey, Chase, man, thank you, thank you. I won't see you for some Thursdays.
I know, we got busy Thursdays.
You guys have busy Thursdays. Maybe I'll see you on a Tuesday. I'm just using a kneaded, so it's an eraser that you can knead, just to lighten up my, sometimes I forget to do this. Oh, so as I have done a lot of videos, I enlarged the photo to, 15.8 or something like that, since it's not quite 16. And then scribbled on the back with chalk pastel, taped it to here, and then traced the photo. I personally like that better than like setting up a traceable because it's more accurate. And then I also see the shapes better. So I'm like, okay, there's the photo. I have the photo of the nose and I'm tracing it and I see the shapes better.
What size is that canvas?
It's not quite
the board.
Yeah, it's a piece of plywood. It's not quite 16 by 16. And I don't know why. But I think it has to do with how they cut a plywood sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I get it, I got this one on Amazon. When I get them from the gallery, they're a little thicker, which is both good and bad. Thicker, it doesn't want to curl or warp at all, but it's also heavier. They're the same size. They're not quite 16 by 16. And then it goes in an entryway at the downtown gallery where most of the artists each have a square, and then yours, your art goes in your square.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to go back to my photo. Oh, that ear's pretty dark. Both ears are pretty dark. This one has more sun glow. This one has some sun glow up here, which usually, if you don't know where to start with the darks and work to the lights. I'm just going to do a little raw sienna and white, maybe a little yellow. And kind of put, I kind of. Sometimes I forget to erase, and sometimes I get fussy about the erasing. What's nice is if I've painted the background a couple days prior and then trace it on, it erases better. If the background's a little, even though it's dry to the touch, it can be a little damp, and then the chalk pastel sticks to it. Doesn't come up as easily. So I'm just painting the shape of the highlight. That kind of goes pretty skinny right there. Even though my brush stroke direction isn't showing, I'm still putting it in. But we've had some beautiful weather here in Omaha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like finally fall.
It seems kind of early to me. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, it's end of September.
Yeah, but it can be hot in the beginning of October. You go to the pumpkin patch and you're roasting during the day.
I guess, I don't know. I usually wear like long sleeves when we go. Like long pants.
You go at night.
Yeah, like 4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd still be warm. I'm just off then. I don't know if there's that much highlight there. I'm gonna tone that. Ooh, I got a cat hair. She just never stopped shedding. At least she didn't have the massive shed she did a couple years ago.
Yeah. That one was insane.
Yeah. I'm gonna tone that down. Okay. Trying to decide where to start. So now I'm telling myself I don't have to get every little hair, fur stroke in. Well, that's pretty dark there. That needs to be lighter. Let's do this. I'm gonna grab let's grab my number 4 round from Princeton.
Your favorite number 4?
One of my favorites. I'm gonna zoom in on the eye a little bit. Oh, I guess that is kind of dark there. I'm gonna grab just a little. I was surprised how well my paints have kept. I don't know how long ago I started this.
I thought you told me 3 weeks, but...
It's not been that long. I knew it one time and now I can't remember, kind of thing. It's probably lighter than I want it. Put that in there so I don't forget about it. That's half of what I do is like, let's not forget about this. I put in some, quite often I put in more detail than I need and then I come back and paint some of it out. I'm singing that song in my head.
It gets stuck.
Yeah.
And the thing is I think it's hard because, like, they say if you have a song stuck in your head, you're supposed to finish it. You know?
I don't know.
But if you don't know the whole song, you
I
can't
finish
technically
it.
finish it. So then you're just, like, left
I'm left
stewing
with
with
the chorus.
it. Mm-hmm.
I've decorated for Halloween.
I've been decorated for Halloween. Oh, I was gonna bring one. I forgot it. Chase falls victim to Instagram ads too much. Probably too much.
Is he still here?
I don't think so, no. But usually he just pops in anymore. He, to the point that I mean, it's not like Instagram really knows because he's clicking on it. So that's all it thinks that he wants it. But I joke that Instagram knows what I want and knows that he's more susceptible to pressing buy, so it sends it to him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he ran across these cute little pumpkin guys that are like, they're technically, picture like a rubber toy, like a rubber, it's not a ball, but like a rubber ball or like silicone ball, and when you slap it, the ball light turns on, you know?
Oh, uh-huh.
So it's that, but it's a pumpkin.
Oh.
And it's this little guy, and he has little like rope legs with little shoes.
Oh, that sounds cute.
Actually, here, I'll just show you a picture of it. I could show the camera, too. Let me pull it up, because I took a photo of it. And he lights up, and Chase did not ask. He's just like, look, Emily, I bought this. I mean, not that he needs to ask, but it's just this little guy.
Oh, that's adorable. It's kind of like an emoji.
Well, and he said that it can't
Are you
live
gonna show
alone.
it on camera or no?
I will, but
Okay.
he said he can't live alone, so we have 2. So, let's see. So he's sitting on my mantle, and he's just got these little like shoes, and he lights up. And if you tap him, he changes like different. Like he doesn't have to be so bright. But I put him next to my house on our mantle.
Oh, cute.
So that's his house.
Cute.
It's the story.
Yeah, that's his house.
But yeah, and then so Chase keeps sending me like sweatshirts and things. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Instagram knows that he'll press buy 5 times faster than I will.
Well, and after a while, where do you put it?
I know.
That's cute.
Yeah. Oh, he was so cute. It's just like, well, and he just sent it to like a group chat that we were in on Instagram. He's like, Emily, look. And then it's like the video, and like if you poke him, he turns on.
Oh. Oh, that's not going to be dark enough after I did that. Well, I'm going to kind of tell myself. We could change direction a little bit. I don't know if I have to get that fancy. I guess maybe I want to get a little fancy so it isn't, they aren't all the same direction. If that makes sense.
But then I gave them...
did I cut you off?
No, I gave them a story arc because they look sad.
Oh.
And so I put one at the house, you know, so he's like, and then I put one on the like sideboard by our table, on the book, with the other little pumpkin. And so the one's sad sitting outside waiting for the other to come home, but he's stuck over on the other, you know?
That's cute. That's really cute. Oh, I would love to buy more stuff. I'm like, I'm plentiful. You know, I don't need more. It's not even I don't need it. It's just, I don't want to get more things. I mean, I don't want to clutter it up more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's cute though.
I mean, you could borrow one of them too.
Yeah.
I've got two.
I'll enjoy them at your house.
I'll have to bring one on Sunday to show you so you can poke him. Because it's so funny. It's just, he's sad and then you poke him and then he turns on.
There's a little triangle shape right there I don't want to lose. Get out the raw sienna here.
Mm.
I love the hairs. Of course, it drives some people crazy. You don't have to paint it like I do. You can just literally paint the shapes you see. Ignore all the clumps of hair. Kind of want to get out the raw sienna. It's going to be too, here, let's just try it. I think it's going to be too orange. Well, here, we'll put it up here, maybe. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that goes well. Of course, it has the nice yellow-orange undercolor, too, which helps it pop out, especially against the blue background. Okay, so... yeah, it's going to be too orange. Okay, let's mix. I'm going to actually mix with my...
Did you get any, it's hard because like we've talked about before, sometimes it takes a while for a video to pick up, but did you get any feedback that if people liked the whole start to finishy?
No.
We'll find out. That's the thing is, like, you know, we have to try enough times and then the views tell you.
In general, I wish you'd do this kind of comments have slowed down.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're doing what they want.
Well, I don't think I am. I mean, I'm not doing anything much to do. Well, I slowly do things a little differently.
Yeah.
Just because I change too as an artist. But yeah, I know they're just giving up on me.
That too.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't remember. In the earlier, gosh, we're in our 4th or 5th year.
I think our 4th. Did we take a year to start doing live streams?
4th. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I just mean YouTube.
Well, because I saw recently when I was scrolling back through all those live streams, the oldest live stream we have is 3 years old. And we only had like 3 of them that are 3 years old.
I thought I saw one that was 5 years old. I wonder what that was. That might have been like a fabric one that wasn't really. Anyway, I forgot my point.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Just something about, maybe we were drawing people, maybe we still do, who watch step-by-step people, like Angela Anderson and the art Sherpa, which is great. But I mean, they're full-time working artists, I assume, as well. But I'm a full-time working artist, but not just YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know Angela, just like a year or so ago, ended up joining the same art agent as I've been with for quite a while. I thought that was funny.
I did that at a bad time.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, I just noticed I was like, this chunk of your face, it's like it was in it.
Oh,
so I was just scooching.
Well, that's
a
because
little
I'm
to the
like
left.
over.
Mm-hmm.
It's too dark, I think. I'm gonna stop doing that, maybe. So maybe they've just learned or something. I mean, we do some step by step, sort of. The live streams.
Cool. I think I did it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop using the black. I keep telling myself this. If I want a darker value. Oh, you know what might work better is just go with some quinacridone instead of trying to go orange. Just have it go red. Well, you don't have to color. You can color match. I've done that in pet portraits, so I try to get really close. Just need to let that dry. You know, maybe someday they'll all be. You know, I don't know how Angela Anderson started out, but I think she used to do. I don't think she was always live and always step by step. You know, you kind of figure out what's going to work for you and others.
Yeah. Yeah, people I've followed for years and years, you know, like some of them have morphed to like...
Yeah. Sorry.
They only do videos, they don't do lives, or they only do it live because then there's no editing, you know?
Yep, yeah, and
it's just what people want or like.
And I'm pretty sure Angelina does live because then they don't have to edit.
Yeah, that does. That's what... I think that's the reason why everyone I watch that only does live, do it live, you know?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I like this brush. It's a little too mushy.
Mushy?
A little too mushy. I might go down. Well, I don't need to really go down in size, but I think I might just because of... Get a little stiffer. Oh, no, that's not the one. Here. That's a filbert. This is a very loved flat brush where the handle's bent. I think it's a 1/2 inch. It's much thicker. Which could be good or bad, just depends on what you like. It's like I don't like any of this. That happens to me all the time. I just know. I mean, I used to get more frustrated. I think, well, you used to even be, gosh, even back when you were living at home. Or maybe you're home for college. I don't think. Anyway, I used to get much more frustrated. But sheer repetition tells me, like, oh, it's going to come together. Just try to get the values. Think about your brush direction. Think about the shape. Think about maybe painting back to front, like this line is behind a lot of the hairs, that kind of stuff. Still, it's kind of hard. I still get a little frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of painted out like I had to change a direction in there on purpose. Now I just made it all the same while I was talking. That's a downside sometimes of talking and painting. It's like, pay attention to both.
LBHS Eccentric Art says she looks like a Stella May crying, laughing face with the heart. That would be a good name.
That's a cute name. Yeah, she's part of my Trouble series. This is Trouble 10. As long as I keep selling them down at the downtown gallery, I'm going to keep doing them.
Stella May is a good cow name.
That's a great name. I'm worrying too much about let's just fill it in. Part of it too is like I'm leaning, well, my cheek was in there, leaning forward. to try and get, so I kind of put my head up above my phone. Try and line myself up with it.
Mm-hmm.
My paints are getting sticky too. I noticed that. Of course, they're a couple weeks old.
Yeah.
A bigger palette, which I say quite a bit, a bigger palette would be easier. I'm running out of mixing room. So a lot of times I'll have a background palette, and I didn't with this one. I don't know why. Probably thought I could do it.
Squeeze on by.
Yeah. I could always start another palette too. Ooh, that's a fat one. If you don't like a fat one, after it dries, come back with some of your background color and you can skinny her up. Dry it with a hairdryer. Okay, that made it worse. Okay, let's watch. I'm kind of just throwing in random hairs here. Look, that got mushy on me.
LBHS Eccentric Art also says, my hubby grew up on a 300-acre dairy farm near Albany, New York.
Oh.
And it says, me ranchers, so probably my ranchers from southeast New Mexico. Go figure. Yeah, that's spread out.
That is spread out.
And we got cows in Nebraska.
What kind of cows, if you remember? It's okay if you don't. Like, I thought this was a Hereford, but it might be a red Holstein. I'm like, I don't know how to tell the difference. Here, I'll show the reference photo in case somebody now or in the replay would happen to know. And maybe it's hard to tell unless you just happen to know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the paperwork and.
I wonder, how does that work? Just like, do cows kind of turn into like dogs where, you know, it's like, it's just gets muddy like a mutt?
I don't know.
Is there such a thing as a mutt cow?
I suppose. I don't know.
Or is there lesser cow breeds than dogs?
Again, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I try to find out, and then I lighten this up. Now I'm going to darken it up. I just don't want to lose it just yet.
That's cool. Eccentric Art also says they made the farm into a brewery, growing their own hops now. That's cool. That's a cool pivot. That's a smart pivot. I feel like brewing is huge.
It all sounds like a lot of work. Which isn't a bad thing necessarily, just a lot of work. Was it hops that got hard to find during the pandemic?
Hops? I don't know.
Hops are one of those to make beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I remember something
I don't
about
remember
that.
that.
I'm not even a beer drinker.
I just remember the I can't remember. I remember when I saw some article that was like, sriracha won't be easy to find for like X amount of months because the peppers and everything and production, and it just like such a wrench got thrown in it. And I was like, oh my God. Oh no.
I used to look for sriracha
Not
for
the
your
sriracha.
brother all the time.
Yeah. Not the sriracha.
This is going to look like a mess as I see. That looks like that one. I'm like, here, let's do that. I'm overthinking it. I need to just paint it. That's darker than I need it darker though. I do like having some directional strokes in there so I don't have to think as much. I can just follow that. Kind of like finding the edges on a puzzle. Helps guide you. That's probably better than I think as far as first round.
Ooh.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Oh, you have 1 minute. That went fast. You have 1 minute till.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about it.
I know. I that feels like, I feel like we've only been painting for 15 minutes. But I was going to say, Coral says, hello, Annie, just got home. Had to get a frame made for a new piece of artwork I'm about to start.
Ooh. Hi.
Do you go to a framer, or do you have a hookup that can frame it for you on the side?
One of the galleries is actually primarily a framing studio, so I always go to I don't get much framed, but I go to them, which nobody was asking, but I offered. And grab the number 4 round. I'm gonna go darker.
But you can do your little thank you thing anytime, no rush.
I have a teeny weeny thank you.
Rush. Oh, Coral says, I work in a gallery. We have our own frame shop. I get a good rate. I am a framer. Cool. That's like, but I don't know if they did. I feel like they mostly like shipped in art.
I don't know where you
are. To that, is it Lewis Art Gallery? Is that the name of it?
I think so.
I picture that. I remember I went there for like an interior design class because they had lots of art and accessories and things, but mostly like art, just literally floor to 20-foot tall ceiling art. But yeah, they had like a cool framing shop in there as well.
Yeah, used to be that way quite a bit because you buy the painting and you make money on the framing too. Mm-hmm. Which is also why I don't frame them, because then the other gallery could. I just buy the thick ones and paint on the sides so you can frame it or not. Just pushing the values a little more here, kind of looking at my reference photo. I don't know if I'd have the hand strength to frame.
I know, I bet you need quite a bit of hand strength.
I mean, they have tools.
Yeah, true.
But still.
You might have, and also might be more machiney now.
True. Gramps used to frame back when I was in high school. He'd frame all the way.
Yeah. But, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, that's kind of like, I guess it might be less dangerous, but I'm thinking that's like, artists working at Michael's level. Oh. But I guess if you have to paint it, it's not like you're probably, I feel like I would be baited so much working at a Michael's, like, oh, gotta get that. Gotta get that.
Yeah.
Whereas you're probably only framing like a piece you have kind of thing.
Well, I buy other artists' work. Like I'm working Friday at the
True.
downtown gallery. I buy. You do get a little tempted. Not like if you worked at a clothing store or.
You might not be safe.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like Michael's would be, or an art store. Mm-hmm. All those art supplies. I'm just like, oh, I like that one. Mm-hmm. I think that's I'm gonna look at the live stream. That ear isn't done, but it might be. It's not in bad shape. Oh, I don't like this area. That happens to me. I could work on it, or I could move on and come back to it. The nuts and bolts are there. I didn't paint a ton on the sides. Oh, I can figure that out though after the live stream. Oh, the nose looks pretty good on the stream. I don't like it. I'm sitting maybe 12 inches away today. I do like, I'm just saying things that pop into my mind. That's actually the background where my thumbnail is. I think I might leave that. I like that coming through. Okay, so what I really should do is move on, and I'm not gonna. Because it's bugging me. And then I'll just move on because it'll bug me more. Okay, maybe some, I was trying to remember when I first started painting animals, I suppose it would be pet portraits. The cows came pretty quick, but not right away. The cows came because I was in a gallery in Nebraska City, and I thought they might. Mm-hmm. Plus, you see them licensed. I licensed my art on products, I have an agent. Anyway, I think I was palette knife, doing palette knife pet portraits. I was doing palette knife when I first started acrylics because I thought it'd keep me looser. And it did for a little bit. Then I got really tight and really good with the palette knife.
Yeah.
I don't know what my point was. It was something to do with fur and animals. I went down 2 streets and turned to left and forgot where I was going.
You got lost on the drive?
I got lost on the drive. Also probably because I'm trying to paint. Oh, I think I always did, this was the whole point of that whole thing. I think I always did the dark first and then came back. Because I knew that was a good rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the dark is what you're going to paint over. It's, in the shadow and there's hairs that come over. Or fur, depending on what you're painting. My dad, when he was alive, would say, cows have hair. I'm like, yeah, they do. Horses have hair. I can hear him. I don't know if that made that any better. Really, I should work the whole painting. I really should stop and work the whole painting because I'm going to come back anyway. Rather than get too married to the values in this ear that might need to change as she keeps going. I don't totally see this in the reference photo, but I kind of do. I'm just adding a few. Okay, let's move on. Move on. There are artists who do super realism and just work their way in one direction or something. Or I always used to do the eyes and get them done, and then do the mouth and the nose of any animal, because I thought if I get those and I'm happy, it's good. Mm-hmm. It works, especially for a pet portrait. Excuse me. Oh, I didn't do the commercial.
No, I was gonna bug you if you tried to move on one more step.
You're so good for me. Okay, so I just wanted to take a quick second and thank a person bought a print on my print store. The print store also has journals and towels and shower curtains and.
I love the shower curtain.
I know. Well, I think did I sell one? I think I sold
You
one.
sold a handful, I feel like.
Oh yeah. Anyway, it's the link is in my videos. It's in this video's description. It's annie-troe.pixels.com. Because when I set it up, I wasn't doing any of this other stuff. Anyways, so I don't know the person's name, but they're from Winfield, Illinois. They bought Quiet Nebraska Sky, so it's a simple landscape painting, and they got it framed and matted. So they purchased a print and framed and matted it. So thank you. I super appreciate that. I make a few, it depends on how much you spend. Like I make 50 cents to a few dollars per purchase. So that's a commercial, but mostly it's a thank you. It turned into a commercial. Okay, let's see.
Go
ahead.
Shoot, what was I gonna say?
Oh, I thought you had somebody in the chat.
Oh, I think I've made this comment before, but I would just love I don't know, you're somewhere, I don't know why I guess you wouldn't, you'd be at someone new's house that you've met, I don't know, maybe you got invited to a party elsewhere and you go to use the restroom and then your art's just on the shower curtain in the bathroom.
Well, I've had a few local buyers now, and a few local collectors, so it would be funny. Mm-hmm. Occasionally they'll send me photos, which is really sweet. Mm-hmm. Like, here's my Annie Troe collection. They'll tend to buy more smaller ones and put them on shelves or something. Mm-hmm. That ear might not be too bad. I might actually want to lighten up. I'm getting some weird shadows from the sun. I don't know if it's bugging anybody.
Are they? Oh, I see. Let me see if I can get rid of them. Puzz Art Show says, amazing painting, I just draw.
Oh, I used to only draw.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I drew forever. I mean, I had a little bit of painting in high school. This is going to get weird for a minute here, guys. Ooh, and bright. Yeah, I was definitely a drawer.
I'm spinning as fast as I can.
Which is why I like it. I'm working on being looser, but I tend to still lean towards realism. Why did I start painting? Oh, I first started painting. So I had my own graphic design business for 20 some years, I don't think it was 25. And I had a lot of home builder clients. And it wasn't celebrity homes. It was, it doesn't matter who. A home builder asked if I'd do a watercolor for them. I'm like, sure, I'll give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
They liked it, and so I did more. And then another, home builder client was like, well, and then I was cheaper than the competition and faster. You know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed that because it's really you just trace the rendering and color it. It wasn't like you had to be a super fabulous watercolorist. But I really liked doing that. And then I kept thinking Emily and I'd go shopping when she was young. I'm like, I could do that. I could do a better snowman than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. That's what I remember, really.
So then I started figuring out how to get into licensing. And so I used to do it in watercolor, but the acrylic, I got inspired by Leslee Troe, who used to have a Artist Helping Artists podcast. She just did really neat palette knife stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I first started doing with acrylics. And then those pieces were licensing better than the watercolor. I think partly because so many artists were doing the watercolor because of speed and, I don't know, popular. So that's how I got into acrylics. I'm telling you my life story here. And then I don't know, so I'm going to start my 4th year at the Downtown Gallery. So 5 or 6 years ago, a Nebraska city, which is an hour from Omaha, gallery, said, hey, you want to be in a gallery? And I'm like, I just said yes. I didn't have any paintings. But I was thinking if I could paint them and license them, because I could put a cow on a garden flag,
Mm-hmm.
then I wouldn't have all these flat originals I'm storing and saving. So the more I talk, the fussier I get with painting because I can't walk and talk and chew bubble gum. So I actually got into licensing first, and then galleries is the last thing. But now I rather enjoy it. I never wanted to be in a gallery when I was a young artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how I was going to do it, and I didn't have. This isn't always, but it just seemed like I needed to have some sort of statement to my work. And my work was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wasn't much of a statement, And I just wasn't interested in it. And all the thoughts about what's good and what isn't good. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I like snowmen,
I like snowmen. Someone's got to draw the snowmen of the world.
But I don't know if galleries are different or I've just found a couple that are a good fit.
Puzz Art Show says, I can't do backgrounds, still have a hard time on backgrounds with my artwork. I feel like backgrounds are, especially in drawing, I always had a hard time with backgrounds.
I don't talk about them a bunch. I'm not talking about this background much at all. Look at my landscapes. They're pretty simple. Some of them aren't that, I'm getting better. I was going to say some aren't that good. That's also opinion too, because I will always sell stuff I think, oh, I don't like this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it sells. So you don't always actually even know. At least I don't know. Oops. That'll be okay. I'm just kind of putting in some shadow, kind of finding my way. I'm getting a little, when I talk, I tend to get more like I'm drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I get into the details. It's not a bad thing. It's how I grew up. Drawing. I don't know if it's true for other people, but getting dark was hard for me for a while. Oh, if you go back and look at my YouTube, they're flatter paintings. And they're not. There's nothing wrong with them. But it's just interesting how sometimes I think it can be common for artists to not go dark.
Or I think I liked when you also started using like a really dark blue as a black, you know?
Yeah, purple. I started
Yeah.
watching chalk pastel painters,
Mm-hmm.
and they just use basically crayons out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Pure pigment. I'm like, oh, that works. That aqua works. That dark blue in the shadow works. You know, blues and purples. Like, I like that. It's really juicy. I don't paint it quite that juicy most of the time, but that's where that came from. I was watching those. Marla Baguetta on YouTube, Karen Margulis. There's another one. I was talking to Amiko about her the other day. Susan Jenkins. It's the same. It's so similar. I mean, you don't want to inhale the dust. That's different. But there's just so many similarities between any medium. I kind of feel soapboxy here. Let's see. I was working on this area and I kind of jumped down. Let's see. He goes dark. He's got hair up here, like a short haircut, but it's half dark, half light. That's kind of cute. I might go a little darker, make it stand out a little more. Oh, that didn't do a darn thing. I'm back to the squishy brush. I just picked it up, and I'm going, oh, I don't like it. It's a little too squishy. That's a little too black. Was I talking? I think I was talking.
That could be the
Yeah.
culprit.
It's so impressive how Emily can do all kinds of things at once. And you didn't really grow up with a cell phone. Kind of did, I suppose. I don't know. Were you 13?
I got one in 8th grade.
You were pretty young. You were younger than you were supposed to be.
Yes, I was. I wrote an amazing. I love that. Like, what? I had to write a 300 word paper. A heavy air quotes around 300 word paper that is very short if you are familiar with how long papers usually are. And I think I just wrote a long paragraph or two about how awful would it be if I got kidnapped, and how do you say no to that, you know?
Well, and I mean, it was interesting because it's like, well, no, not till she's 16. Jack was 16.
Yeah.
You know. So did he think that was just a hard thing? I don't know. It's kind of funny. It was handy though. Like, hey.
And I think I would have.
I'm going to be late. I'm picking up your brother, you know?
Yeah, or like, I think I would have, no matter what, ended up with one sooner just because I was also more out and about than Jack.
And younger. And 4.5 years younger. That's a difference.
Yeah. So, like, I mean.
Jack is my favorite son.
I was running around the neighborhood more, or, you know.
Yeah.
I was someone to get a hold of more, I feel like.
Well, when I ran around the neighborhood, I just called when I got to the friend's house, then we ran around some more.
Yeah, but I think by the time I was so like what, I would have been a sophomore getting a cell phone, right? A sophomore in high school, because that's what, like, sophomore you learn to drive, 16. Yeah, because if it was 16. So like by the time I was a freshman, nobody had, like, people were ditching their home phones, you know?
Yeah.
And that, I feel like that turnover was pretty fast.
It was. No, it worked out well.
Mm-hmm.
Just like...
you know, following the rules.
Well, and...
I cheated.
You're a writer, so even at, 13 did we say? 300 words is a paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
What was it on? You said, but I didn't hear.
I just wrote a lovely paragraph about, like, if something awful were to happen and I had an emergency, and what if I was kidnapped, I could text real fast. You know, I just wrote, like...
Oh, so, like, yeah.
I could call 911 on my cell phone, but I can't if I don't have a cell phone.
The reasons you need a cell phone.
Yeah, I didn't have to explain much because I went straight to, straight to doomsday, and that's all I really needed to get to. I didn't need a lot of build-up and a lot of filler.
Well, you got to pull at his heartstrings, not mine.
Yeah.
I wasn't home.
Yeah.
It's funny. It worked out well. I always worried about the bullying. Kids can just text you, and Because they start out your friends and then they get, something happens and
Mm-hmm.
they're not very mature. Because they're kids, you know. I couldn't leave this ear alone. Did anybody notice I went back here?
Cindy says, hi, everyone. I'm really late tonight watching hurricane updates. I hope you're okay.
Oh, Florida.
I saw that. Not to say exactly where Chase's mom is, but Chase's mom is visiting family in Florida.
Is she there?
Yeah, and she's like,
Oh.
I literally think I'm gonna make it just home in time. That it'll, like, she'll probably get the rain, but hopefully, you know, that she'll be able to get out of the airport, you know?
Oh.
But yeah, hope you're okay and hope you're not, like, right in the path.
Yeah.
And keep an eye on it.
Oh.
Forget us. Keep an eye on it.
I saw it on the news this morning. Well, and I think it was going to go over warmer temperatures, and I think it did increase. I don't think it was a hurricane this morning, but they thought it was going to become one.
Mm-hmm.
So there was purple there, and I just painted over it. I can come back and put some purple in. Or not. Boy, I'm really kind of... I need to stop talking, and then I'll paint more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited you guys are here.
Your friends.
My friends
Your
are
friends are visiting you at work.
Well, I like that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so cool. Okay, it's a little soon to do this, but I'm going to do it. Let's see. I might want to... Oh, that worked pretty well. So I can't feel it hitting the canvas or the plywood. So I might not always get it. You can see me kind of misfire maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's the fun stuff. Try and make it random. That's always a thought.
Cindy says, doing okay right now, fingers crossed. I have all my fingies and toes.
My
I'll
toes
cross my
don't
legs.
cross anymore. Emily will do it for me.
I've got everything crossed.
Thanks, because I can only cross fingers. I think that's kind of fun. That'll also push. I could argue I did that because then it'll help me see if the ear's dark enough.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to do it. But I could go the more arty route. Do a little fibbing. Okay, let's see here. This is too light, but I think in a couple of days I'm going to put out fresh paint just because this paint has been out quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's feeling as sticky as my kneaded eraser. Yeah, those eyes not being finished used to really bother me. I don't know when that changed. Practice. Oh, I got a text that said I won Publishers Clearinghouse.
No!
And I actually enter that sometimes.
I know!
I probably shouldn't say that during a live stream.
But like...
But it was really good. It was good. And I'm like, no way.
And no, that's why I'm like saying no, is because I know that you enter and you're like, and you probably like, oh, for a second,
well,
you know?
I didn't quite go, but
Okay,
I
good.
mean, it got me though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, huh. And I read it. I'm like, this is really good. And then I keep reading it. And it said I won $8 million and $7,000 a week. And I'm like, what? That seems excessive.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. And so then I'm like, you know what? I bet you they only contact you by mail or in person.
Yeah. They
And
knock
so-
on your door. Have you not seen?
Well, no. I mean, I don't, no. They used to
Yeah.
be on TV back in the day, but I only have one channel now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I double checked, but it was good.
Dang it.
It had like all the bells and whistles and
Mm-hmm.
phone. No, call this number. I'm like, well, I'm not calling the number.
Yeah.
I thought, huh? I assume they're just fishing and didn't know that I actually.
Yeah, because I get ones that are like, it's something like, I'll get ones that like, this specific, it's like from a specific bank or something, and it's like your account has been hacked, but I don't have a bank. I don't bank there, you know? So that's easy.
That's easy, yeah.
But
I get stuff sometimes. It's like, wow.
Occasionally I'll get ones that are like, your USPS package is stuck and you need to, like, we need more information. And I think that's gotten
I got Jack
before. And I always hesitate. I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, no. I'm just going to go check on my package separately, like go to the original email.
It's cruel because you have to go check.
I know.
Of course, they don't care. They don't care if it's cruel. That one got me a little bit.
I know.
Well, it got me enough to go check, so I guess it got me. There's no little bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't get excited.
I woulda. I woulda.
But yeah, I just every once in a while I'm like,
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like instead of scrolling down Facebook, I just scroll through whatever and enter. Or like I have so many tokens, occasionally I don't know how many tokens I have, and I'll just cash them all out for extra entries, you know.
Yeah.
It's mostly just sort of it's like walking around the block.
It's kind of like how...
It's a mindless thing to just chill out with.
Yeah, or it's also kind of like how your Candy Crush, you still get the daily check-in, though you're never like playing it enough to use them all up. You know?
Oh, I have so much stash that I can blow through those super hard. What am I on? Am I like 800 and something?
Wow.
Yeah, I would cry if I ever lose. And I do play it once in a while, but yeah, I just check in, you know, spin the prize wheel or whatever they call it. Because I'm looking at my reference photo a lot. Also because I'm still like in layer 1 here. I don't have to be so exact. I think it's because I just thought that was funny. That was like a day or so ago that they got me.
Ah, rude.
But I mean, I don't know. It was just good. I should have saved it. I'm like, oh, that's not fair to people. I'm gonna put some unbleached titanium. I think it's gonna be white here, but I'm gonna put the unbleached in here for now. Like I said, you could just paint this whole shape instead of all these little strokes I'm doing. Actually, they suggest you do that and then come back with the details. It's much more efficient. You'll paint faster. I'm setting a bad example.
Leanne says, did you wait for them at your door?
No, when it said the call.
Yeah, they're supposed to have balloons. And he's got the big check. And then they knock on your door.
My hair's too short for curlers. I should buy a robe for the day that it happens.
Yeah, you need like fuzzy slippers and a robe, you know.
Oh, I could have my Pooh Bear slippers on.
Yeah.
My Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the dollar amount, for some reason, I'm like, no, that doesn't. I mean, maybe they actually do that. I just don't know it, but that seemed odd. And I'm like, oh, they wouldn't. Although I could have called and just be curious and like, hey, what is it that you want from me? And I thought, well, then that lets them know I'm a live number.
Yeah, and maybe they'll just be like, oh, actually, the person that won didn't answer their front door, so would you like to win?
Yeah, well, maybe, but they'll say, but you got to pay, $300 for us to ship.
Oh, you would call that number. I thought you were saying.
Yeah, no, I was going to call the number that.
Yeah.
I was going to call the number in the text that got me.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, because Chase sometimes he just answers to
To bug them.
To bug them, suck up their time, so that they're not calling someone that'll fall for it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, then they know you're a live number.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was right there with Chase, like, let's do that. And then I'm going, so I could paint this kind of bluish because it's in the shadow. Don't have to. You can leave it gray. It's Mars black and a little titanium white. Oh, the blue isn't even showing. Just because I want the blue background or the gray or something isn't. Something's not letting it show. Tonight is puzzling out the cow. Well, how to paint fur. I'm sure there's as many ways to do it as there are artists. One of these days I'm going to make myself just paint the large shape.
Yeah.
Big blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it might take me a decade, but one of these days, I'm going to put a little dark paint right there. Oh, kind of like that there's a little, let's see, where is it? Right there is a little dark. I like the little itsy bitsy details. Calm me down, and I'm not thinking about, you know, oh, I need to do this adulting thing, or I need to, you know, bug my, I don't know who, my doctor, or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
get the car in, you know, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Car needs an oil change. Life things. So this is actually light. And I'm telling myself I don't have to follow it exactly. Let's get it in, I can come back and play. I want to play right away. I want to play now. Oops, I didn't quite go the way here. We'll make that one go that way. It doesn't in the reference photo, but I like it. Okay, there's a shadow, so I need to stop myself. What is this? Oh, I think it stops up there a little bit. Here, let's just go back to this color. Here we could do with some unbleached titanium. I haven't used that in a long time. I used to use that color a lot. I just painted my thumb. There's like almost a straight up triangle, right? Right here, I think. And again, it doesn't have to be. What's nice about this cow portrait is it's not going to its cow owner.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot less pressure to get it right. If I do a pet portrait, I remind myself that it's like, okay, you just need to get the major features. Even if you don't get them all, they'll still think it's still going to be theirs. I was going to say they still think it's theirs. It'll still look like theirs.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard, not to worry about it as you go. I don't see black, but I'm going to put a little. Give them a little more of a. So I've just been wiping my brush off on a paper towel. I'm not really cleaning it. Piecing it together. Sometimes I just use one of my puddles I mix, and sometimes I mix a little different from that puddle. How do I know? Sometimes it's just, it either would work. Or sometimes I don't like it. I love the little hairs. I'm gonna get too many in. If it's everywhere, it's nowhere. Okay, I think that's a pretty good first swipe at it as I keep swiping at it. About now I'd go grab a piece of Dove chocolate, go walk downstairs. Oh, here, I'm going to look at the live stream. Oh, it's coming. Yeah, on the live stream, this looks like more of a shape than it does to me in person. I can see some of the blue coming through. Oh, yeah, see now when I look at the live stream, I'm thinking it's a little flat in here. I'm going to want to do something just for my own personal preference. Could totally leave it. I can see you guys. Okay. I have used this reference photo before. It's the half cow face that has more blue in it. I think it's in the banner art for the channel.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think that blue is a little too strong for my taste.
I like how bright that blue is. It's juicy.
I put blue in the shadow. Well, on some days, sometimes it's just whatever day it is. Depends on how you... I want to kind of hint at a... It's smeared out so it dries, hopefully it dries a little darker. I don't know if that needed to happen at all. Okay, let's unbleached titanium. It's a paint by number right now. I don't think that's bad. And if you don't like that, you do you. It helps me to break it down.
Yeah. It makes it less daunting.
Yep. I try to kind of get the well, yeah, okay, so warm values, warm colors in the sun, cooler colors in the shade. You know, I try to kind of get the values right, but I know I'm going to come back with some whites. I'm just, you know, more concerned about the contrast. I said more a few times there. More. I'm more concerned about getting some paint down. I'm gonna... Oh, that's blue. Maybe... So blue and orange are complements. It could go a little green on me too. But that'll tone it down. I could also add black. I might. But it's easier. It'd be easier if I did the complement more often because the Mars black is really strong. A lot of times I overdo the black. Oh, see, that's going to be too dark. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that better. For me, it's fun not just to paint with, you know, brown, light brown, rusty red. It's fun for me to throw some blues and purples in. Let's see, this is over there. I may have to lighten this back up. I'm going to put it everywhere so it'll be nowhere. Oh, am I too honest?
No.
I like having the star there so I don't have to turn my head all the time and look at my reference photo for placement. Sometimes I go the wrong direction of the fur just to get in, keep some of the detail I've got going. Oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I gotta get this painting done. Be fun if I sell it before October because it makes my yearly average of selling these go up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I'm about 3 a year. I always want to know where they put them. I wonder what they do with them.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if you if you required a photo?
Well,
I need to know where this goes.
Some artists are kind of like that. I'm like, don't make them. They own it now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wreck your sail. You might get to read another sail. It was fun when one of them went to Australia and they wanted a picture taken, and whoever was working at the gallery texted me the photo. It was a young couple.
Mm.
And then her parent, I can't remember, one of their parents were here in Omaha, so they were going to ship it, which I'm like, oh, great. I was like, I can't. I suppose I could, but just, the cost and the paperwork, and especially since I don't know what I'm doing as far as shipping to other countries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to tone this down a little bit. I'm going to go too blue again and not like it. Oh, that may be too much. No, that might be okay, actually. Let's see. I didn't mix much. So one thing about not mixing much is then that helps vary your... So my value's the same pretty much, pretty close, but my colors are changing or have shifted. And that can make a painting more interesting and seem more painterly. So let's see if I can aim. Oh, right here. I think it was there the whole time. I just couldn't see it in my phone. So bluer, a little greener, browner. You don't have to do that. I like doing that. The phthalo blues are really strong. And yet I keep using them. I think a lot of people like the aquamarine, ultramarine.
Ultra. Yeah, I was like, that's something, but that's not right.
Yep, that wasn't right. I think it's maybe a little easier to deal with, especially if you're not used to strong. Okay, so I didn't really mark for myself where this shadow stops. Let's see. Okay, we have some here. That is what? There? Okay, I think here. I can fix it if I miss it. And I'm going to grab a little unbleached titanium because there's a little teeny highlight right here, which I think is nice. And it's going to drive me nuts. Well, I'm going to paint it in there too, though. So now it doesn't drive me nuts. Let's try that again. I think that's kind of a neat little highlight. And see, it's too strong when I do that because it's wet. So I'm laying it on thick. There, I think that'll remind me. Well, let's go a little brown. Okay, there's a nice shape that I might miss here. I don't know if I'm gonna worry about it. I think I'll just fill it in. Sometimes I grab things and sometimes I don't. Why? Sometimes I just don't want to deal with it. Okay, so that kind of goes like this. Let's connect that. I'm in the weeds, Emily. I'm in the weeds.
We've lost you to the weeds.
I like the weeds. I get frustrated because, like, why is this painting taking me so long? Yeah, well, I'm in the weeds.
You like the weeds.
I like the weeds. Don't fight it. If you're a speedier painter, that's good. Don't fight it. I'm gonna go a little lighter. If it doesn't quite work, I can come back and fix. I'm not getting what I'm looking for. And then a lot of times what I'm looking for, I don't really need. I spend a lot of time doing things I don't need to do. I don't know if this is helpful or not. I guess I'm just basically saying, I try to be easy on myself. I'm not always. Hopefully you'll try to be easy on yourself. Yeah, I think that really helps. Oh, that's too dark. Darn it. I like the shift and I painted it out. It'll look more painterly if you don't have one single color line. So that line, which is the shadow edge, a little lighter, a little darker, a little lighter, you know, color changes.
Mm-hmm.
It can be too much and you can tone it down, but it also can help it look more like a painting. If you want to look like a drawing, don't worry about it. You can do that too. Or you're like an ultra realist. You'll need more of those lines. In some cases. It's always hard because it just kind of depends. Like if you're drawing boxes of candy is different than cow face. I said boxes of candy because there's an artist here in Omaha who does ultra real. It's like a Where's Waldo of candy just scattered on a table.
I was like, where are you? I know where you are now.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just loaded. There's just so much to it. It would take ages.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. And I don't think she ever says to herself, I want to paint looser.
Yeah, probably not.
No, she really likes it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. I just do it to challenge myself and try to speed up. I'm not painting very loose tonight. I keep rambling. See, now I'm worried. So I looked away from it because I'm cleaning out my brush. And now I'm worried that I have all these color. It starts to scare me. Can you see that in the stream? Let's see what you can see. Because my iPad color might be different. Oh, you can't. At least I can on my iPad. You know, bluer, grayer, greener. And actually that would make sense if the light's coming from over here that it's warming up. But it looks kind of weird. Just paint the pieces. It's getting dark, Em.
I know. It's getting dark early.
You're going to miss me. I won't see you.
I am. I know. I have a busy tomorrow. Well, evening, I guess, and a busy all day Friday.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the weekend's a little quieter.
Oh, no, I'm going to ask you to do 1,000 things for me. You know what? We're going to go electric bike shopping so you can bike with me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd like it. I mean, you'd like it, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if you'd like.
I
don't know if you'd be as enthusiastic as I am.
Yeah, and I think it wouldn't be as fun as like us like walking together, just because like I can't like ride next to you and talk to you, you know.
Oh, true. You can't. You don't.
Yeah.
But it's where I bike. It's just. I don't know if I could walk it, even when I was good at walking, or my body parts would walk further. That sounded weird. I have arthritis in my hips. I'll just say it, so I don't walk as like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe after I get my hips fixed.
Yeah, I told you you'll beat me in a foot race here real soon.
I was slowing down for quite a while. I just didn't really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
My stride got shorter.
More lopsided.
Yeah, I didn't really even notice that, but both you and Jack were like, yeah, you walk funny. Like, okay. Not sure what I want to do here. Oh, so how do you blend in acrylics? You could blend like wet and wet. Some of this is like little sections are wet and wet. But I just paint in sections. Even like this, I might paint this corner and then paint this corner. And it's drying, you know, I might, you just kind of, if it starts to lift up, you dry it with a hairdryer, wait, and come back to it. I just do it in sections. Man, whatever I can manage.
Susie says, both my hips have been replaced. It was a miracle for me.
Oh, good to hear. I'm going to do that.
Good.
Now we're going to talk hips.
Yeah, let's chat hips.
Oh, it's Susie, you don't have to if you don't want to. They're going to do the anterior hip replacement, where they just give you a spinal block and robot assist. And I'm scared, but I'm like, I don't want to be put out, so I'm happy about that. And they say the recovery is so much faster. So it all sounds good. I was telling the person I was talking to on the phone today, because she, we were, well, anyway, I ended up saying I was gonna get my hips replaced. And, what's the point? And she was so nice and, so concerned. I said, I think she started in a lot of pain. I said, you know what? Because she's had kids. I'm like, it's kind of like when you're pregnant and you're scared, and then you get to and you're like, how is this going to work? And I had a big baby, and both of you kids are, da-da-da. It's like all of a sudden it's like, I can't sleep. I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, just let's get this over with. And I don't know if that's true for everybody. But she's like, oh yes, I remember. I'm like, I am there with my hips. I'm like, let's just do it now.
Yeah. Now. Because after, you probably won't sleep that great, but if you're not sleeping great now, what's the diff?
Yeah.
But at least, you'll, you have a chance at feeling a heck of a lot better.
Yeah.
Once you're on that side, it's only hopefully getting better, Whereas this side you're on, it's theoretically only getting worse.
And fast. Yeah, therapy didn't help at all. Just kind of made everything cranky.
Susie says, no prob. That sounds like a great option. I had the big old incision down the side of my hip.
Oh, yeah.
And I was driving a week and a half later.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all, because when I was Googling, I was like, it's like 3 weeks of no driving. Can't do XYZ for so long. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be like your nursemaid.
You were so sweet. You had almost everything figured out.
Yeah, well, I was like, can you do stairs? So I'm like, it's fine. We'll move a bed to the main floor. I need a bed frame for my guest bedroom
so
anyway.
Sweet, figuring it all out. I'm like, but you didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
But it was so nice of you. Okay, that's something here. I kind of went down into the weeds, but I like when I come back and put some detail.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay, go ahead.
But to finish Susie's comment, she said, I was driving a week and a half later. I wasn't really supposed to. Well, my doctor didn't know about it.
Yeah, they told me if I'm going to do the right hip first. So they thought 2 weeks. Of course, they're going to tell you maybe one of the, I don't know if they'll tell you the average. I would assume they'd tell you, I would always...
I would overestimate the number.
Overestimate, yeah.
Because
under promise.
Yeah, under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
Because then, you also feel better about yourself if you feel like you're ready to go faster, which is also another whole mind thing, Yeah. Whereas if you feel like you're healing slow, then you're going to not heal better anyway,
Oh, yeah. There's mental as part of it, especially for me. I can get mental. Yeah, I have a friend who had down the sides of her leg. I really don't. The scar doesn't bother me at all, no matter how big or small it is. I'm like, I don't care about that. And I've got a lot of things that aren't so pretty anymore. I don't do bikinis anymore. It's like it's not a big deal. I don't go swimming. I suppose if I ever had grandkids, I might take them swimming. That was a dig at you, Em. Unfazed.
Yeah.
I can't get out of the weeds tonight.
It's a weeds night.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. It is how I paint.
Susie says, I never wore bikinis anyway.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't. I did for a little bit, but I was also the swim team girl. I was the sports girl. So More one-piece Speedos back then.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Bikinis didn't work so well if you're diving in, jumping in.
No.
If you lose your top and you're trying to win a race, it's not good.
Yeah.
Well, and then I water skied too, so bikinis really weren't as good for water skiing.
Oh, yeah, definitely no.
And my then boyfriend's dad, more than my boyfriend, I only learned how to do 2 skis. I never had the hand strength to hang on to the tow rope for 1 ski.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I got up on 2 skis, I would pull my swimming suit out of my butt crack. Even though I was a horrible beginner skier, I had enough talent and skill to get my swimsuit down.
Swimsuit out of the butt crack.
And they just thought it was so funny because, like, there's bigger things to worry about than...
Well, that's a lot of fabric hanging out in there.
Whether my butt cheek was hanging out.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, like, the uncomfortability.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you get enough force, it can be really uncomfortable. They always pulled me up. He was a really nice dad. He always pulled me up so slow.
Mm-hmm.
He was good at it.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Whereas the boyfriend, he'd pop right up on 1 ski, kick it off once he had enough speed and barefoot. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
I know.
That would hurt your feet.
You would think so.
Susie says, my right hip is 20 years old and the scar is barely visible. They glue you back together under layers and stitches.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they told, one ortho guy told me, his nurse told me 10 to 20 years for the front approach. And the front approach is supposed to be more stable because they just move things to the side rather than cutting.
Mm-hmm.
So then it holds everything in place better. Mm-hmm. In theory. I don't know if it's true. And then the second guy I went to, because I was having trouble communicating with the first guy. And it was probably just a 2-way thing, the communication was bad on my side. But anyway, they said like 30 years.
Yeah, he said your replacement will outlive you.
Probably.
Yeah. I would agree with that more because, there was a lot going on with the first person anyway that I would take the...
He wasn't listening to me.
Mm-hmm. I would take the second opinion over the first.
Well, I was just trying to ask normal questions like, how long will it last?
Mm-hmm.
What do I can't think of the questions right now. Why haven't we talked injections?
Yeah.
Not as a criticism, but just why.
Yeah.
Like, because he said physical therapy, and I'm like, wow, this just is really going badly. The other guy's like, yeah, you're not a candidate for that. I'm like, okay, this is all, everything the second guy said to me started to fit. Mm-hmm. It's like, he didn't say I wouldn't recommend that because they don't want to throw their colleague under the bus.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, okay.
Susie says, yes, exclamation mark.
Well, I'm glad it went well for you. That's awesome to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's better than like when I was pregnant and you hear all the horror stories.
I know. Why do people do that?
I don't know. Well, they just want to, well, just like me, I'm telling my story. People just want to tell their story.
I know. Well, I get it. Like, I've heard horror stories from my friends, but I'm not, like, pregnant. It's like people will find out you're pregnant and then tell how awful your delivery was,
Yeah.
I'm like, I would not. Because, like, you have to do that then in, like, what, 9 months?
Well, maybe,
depending on...
Maybe your generation doesn't do that. Maybe they're smarter,
Mm-hmm. Susie says, once you are bone on bone, PT and injections are a waste of time and money.
That's exactly what that guy said.
Yeah, you should have gone to Susie instead of that first guy.
I should have. Well, you don't know. You don't know until you know.
I know.
And I don't know why the first guy was frustrated with me. He's the one who said, do you want to try PT? And I'm like, well, it sounds like I should.
Yeah. If that's what you're recommending, sir. I'm not the doctor.
Sure, I made money. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
You made a PT buddy.
He's probably such an excellent surgeon.
Yeah, the bedside manners,
He's probably just really bad at talking to old ladies.
Yeah. Well, it's not helpful not that this should, that makes it any of your fault, but it's not helpful that this is really the first thing you've ever had to, like, get fixed, So it's not like the healthcare system really, or like...
I'm so naive.
More than above, this is a general checkup.
Yeah. Well, and I told them I'm super new to all of this. Mm-hmm. Everybody I ran into. So because I'm like, I'm going to probably ask really basic questions because I don't know. Mm-hmm. So to prep them, but that didn't help. Also because like, hey, tell me things that you think are basic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you need to get your liver checked now that you're taking drugs all the time. Like, oh.
Smart. Oh my gosh, smart.
I did not know that. So sorry about the rant, guys. Oh gosh, my watch just went off.
Oh, it's 7:30.
Yeah.
Well, you could finish whatever you're doing. I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I really was going to start kind of a new thing, but we'll.
You talked about your hips too late.
Well, as some people pointed out, they just like having the conversation in the background. Some don't. Some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Here, maybe let's grab some sky color. Oh, now I went to blue. A little yellow. Just kind of looking for a green. Okay, well, that's white there. So let's just kind of connect that. It's a little warmer, but I don't think I mind. Just to remind me, that's not quite right, but that'll just help me when I pick up again tomorrow.
Yeah, I like that blue-green underpainty.
Yeah, I can always paint it out if I don't like it. That's what I always remind myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it does scare me a little bit. And it's probably too colorful for some people's taste. There was a bear painting I saw. I painted a bear recently, and it was super colorful. I'm like, oh, I'm going to try something like that, and I end up painting a bear on black, really toned down. I'm just misting this with water.
Oh, Marty says, I missed the conversation. I had a phone call, just got done, so I missed the whole show.
Oh, that's okay. I ended up getting
fine.
on a thing about my hip replacements that are coming up. So it's like, okay, young people, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, all right, another comment is I went in because I had knee pain, and I had knee pain for
Ever.
15 years in one leg, maybe. I quit golfing. I didn't quit golfing right
That was
away.
the pinched nerve.
No,
in your foot.
the T-band.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, the pinched nerve is why I quit golfing. You're right.
Yeah.
So I went in and said, hey, I have knee pain. What's going on? And the guys, they do, thank goodness they did x-rays, kind of waist down to your ankles. And he's like, your knees are good.
Gorgeous knees.
I'm like, oh, referred pain.
Mm-hmm.
So that was weird. TMI, guys, too much information. Okay, he's coming together, Trouble 10. There will be a full video. So I will continue as I'm doing, and then I'll come back and refine. Occasionally I'll get an ear where I really like it, but I'm going to come back and refine this one for sure. And I always come back and glaze up the nose, and I haven't even finished the eyes, so yeah. But I'm just getting first layer down. This was a little more fussy than usual because I was chatting.
Susie says, IT band pain is a bear.
Yeah, I tried rolling it. And
I know. And it probably was inflamed, but I feel like it was just like Chase's. Like they thought it was his IT or whatever. And then, he had torn his meniscus going down the stairs.
Well, yeah. Well, and so now that my hips are so cranky now, and I'm still doing the exercises because the strengthening the muscles will help. But like this knee just drives me nuts again, like it used to.
Ugh.
Okay, I keep going on about it. I apologize. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love connecting with creatives like you. It just means the world to me. Super appreciate your support. Great big happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.